My top screenwriting tip is to never think that you've written your masterpiece. You should always be writing, and it's the process of writing that should give you the most joy, not the having written something.
My advice is pretty straightforward. Quantity leads to quality. Write as much as possible and show your stuff early and often and embrace that feedback.
My tip is don't underestimate concepts and taking time to think about your concept and what the story is you want to tell before you dive in to actually start writing it. Because if it's a concept that you're just writing for yourself because you think it's fun or that no one else has interest in, chances are it's going to be a lot harder for you to make this movie.
I think it's hard to know at the beginning which rules to pay attention to and which rules to break. And reading great screenplays will teach you which rules to break, and reading not so great screenplays will teach you which rules not to break. And once you've kind of gotten a little bit of a barometer for that, I would say be absolutely reckless in the pursuit of your vision.
Top screenwriting tip would be enjoy the small victories. Like, working in Hollywood is such a high-pressure job that sometimes you forget to stop and smell the flowers. So I absolutely would say enjoy the moments when you finish writing a script, when you get good notes, good feedback on it. Just try and enjoy the process of it.
And my top screenwriting tip would be to spill your gut onto the page, and you should be slightly embarrassed by the stuff that you're putting out there. You want your work to be as embarrassingly personal as possible.
Divorce yourself from your ego. I feel like the best art really comes from passion and purpose and the need to say something. And I think the greatest dragon you have to slay is your own ego, your own need to be worshipped and celebrated, and that's just not where the best art comes from. So I would say to attack the blank page with humility and with celebration and with curiosity and imagination and joy. And ego is not going to give you any of those things.
My best screenwriting tip for aspiring screenwriters was, I hate to say this is going to sound cliche, but it's just, if it's what you really want to do, is to not give up. I first moved to LA 20-some years ago, and I've been at this a long time and had a lot of stops and starts and people telling me it wasn't going to happen. And I knew it was what I wanted to do. I was passionate about it, and I knew that I was good at it, and I just didn't give up. So that's my advice, because I will say this: walking into a theater and hearing a crowd react to words that you wrote for the very first time, like all the heartbreak and all the struggle and all of that, is so worth it when you have that moment. That I know it, like I said, I know it's cliche to say that, but that's what I got.
My advice to any screenwriter would be to write your voice. Write how you talk, write how you think, what's really inside you, because if there's anything that executives are looking for, it's something fresh and something original and something authentic. And I would also say write to entertain yourself and to entertain the people that you love.
My top tip would be to write through the suck, because there are going to be days where the words are not coming and the thoughts just aren't there. And in my experience, you can't let that derail you. You can't afford to just get stuck. So even if it's terrible and you know it's the worst thing you've ever written, write it, keep writing, get through it. That's what rewriting is for. You can come back and fix it later, but just keep the momentum going.